voyage is an adventure. A ship, the deep sea, the white wake, and a destination that's found by compass instead of a road map. And a voyage to an island is somehow a greater adventure, because islands have always been mysteriously magnetic in men's imaginations. The voyage to the Isle of Wight isn't a long one. It only takes about 20 minutes to sail across the Solent from Portsmouth to Ryde, but it is a journey by sea, a complete break from the mainland, and it gives you the feeling that you've really travelled from one place and arrived at another. It's like going abroad, but without the doubts and disasters of tackling a foreign language. And there are no customs to cope with, except the traditional Isle of Wight custom of being kind and hospitable to strangers, even very small ones. So it just isn't surprising that as soon as the holiday season starts, thousands of families pack their bags and head south to the loveliest of the British Isles and the twin resorts of Sandown and Shanklin. Of course, there are some people who simply can't resist moving with the times, and moving really fast. The miraculously exciting trip across the Solent by hovercraft takes about 6 minutes. A more leisurely voyage to the island is by car ferry. This method has a slightly heroic flavour as motorists move down the bow ramp like invading tank commanders at the D-Day landings. So there are several ways of reaching the Isle of Wight by sea and by air, and they all bring a touch of adventure to the start of a holiday. In a moment, the crowds who've just arrived will set off for the resorts they've chosen, mostly Sandown and Shanklin. There's just enough time to ask why they've come here.
We've never been here before. We've had such wonderful reports of the weather and the places to visit and the scenery that we thought we'd like to come this time.
I came last year and I think it's very nice, you know, there's lots of fun, nice weather.
Nice place, plenty to do. The children like it, the family like it. They say that Shanklin's got the highest sunshine record, so we hope it's going to prove that we shall get more sunshine than anywhere else.
We came last year, it was very nice, so we thought we'd come again.
We have lovely weather here, and we get very brown.
A little peace and quiet.
Just a good holiday, that's all.
I'm not on holiday, I live on the island.
The girl who isn't here on holiday because she lives on the island is called Muriel, and Muriel is a rather special sort of girl. Because she's young and fresh and pretty, she symbolises the spirit of holidays everywhere. And because she's a local girl, she's been elected Carnival Queen of Sandown. Soon she'll be crowned. In the meantime, with an attractive girl, lovely scenery, bright sunshine and a surge of holiday feeling, let's go to Sandown. Sandown. And the first thing that strikes you as you reach the front is an air of gaiety. Perhaps it's the sunshine or the sand or the sea. Perhaps it's the jolly little flags fluttering along the promenade. Perhaps it's the festive look of the pier. But most of all, it's the feeling that everybody's enjoying themselves. That's really where the gaiety comes from. Sandown, like Shanklin, is cosy, compact and content. The hotels and guest houses are glad to have visitors, and the visitors are glad to be there. Many are regulars who go back year after year because they know that they'll get good meals, comfort and consideration at reasonable prices. And they know that they'll be able to relax completely, or get out and about. But for all the amusements and entertainments, it's still the beach that's the main attraction at Sandown and Shanklin. And for two very good reasons. The first one is the weather, which is what you might call ice cream weather. It's wonderfully and consistently hot. Sandown and Shanklin have held the sunshine record for Great Britain so often for so many years that even the local people don't bother to boast about it anymore. And the other reason why the beach is so popular is the sand. Where there are uncomfortable pebbles and shingle at most British resorts, Sandown and Shanklin have nothing but sand. 7 soft, superb miles of it. Sandown and Shanklin are next door to each other. They're equally delightful, and they both have piers. So visitors often get a bit mixed up about which is which. One way of telling is by the lift, which is Shanklin's particular landmark. The lift swishes people up and down between the beach and the cliff top about as busily as Alfie moves about on his scooter. Alfie is a sort of 18th century figure with a 20th century outlook, an inimitable mixture of town crier and entertainer. Alfie divides his valuable time between Sandown and Shanklin, and when he's not giving shows with community singing and talent contests, he's usually out on one of the beaches, seeing that people are having a good time, and not having a bad one himself. When Alfie's finished greeting his many admirers, he has a special duty to perform today. As town crier, he must make an important announcement. And so the Carnival Queen of Sandown is crowned by the island's MP, Mr. Mark Woodnut. Then, Carnival. A Carnival Queen's realm, and fit for any queen. Shanklin in the foreground, merging with Sandown in the distance, snugly together in the shelter of the gently curving bay. There may be bigger and grander places, but there aren't many that are prettier or that have more charm. If the Queen is proud of her domain, she has every right to be, just as Sandown and Shanklin and the whole of the Isle of Wight are proud of their historic associations with the kings and queens of England. These are the gardens of Osborne House, Queen Victoria's home on the island and the place where she died. Recently, it was visited by her great-great-granddaughter, the present Queen. Part of Osborne House is now a convalescent home for officers, but the state and private apartments are open to the public. Even more historic is Carisbrooke Castle, where Earl Mountbatten was recently made governor of the island. The Royal Yacht Britannia is the island's most famous link with royalty when she drops anchor for Cowes Week, the world-renowned sailing festival. For yachtsmen, it's a great sporting and social occasion. For the dry land visitor, it's a spectacular free display. So is the Carnival Queen's way of commuting between Sandown and Shanklin. A queen who takes her duties responsibly must do more than just look gorgeous in carnival processions. She must consider her subjects.
Yes, very nice.
Have you been here before?
Oh, yes.
What do you like about it?
Well, it's beautiful, really. It's the Riviera of the South Coast, isn't it?
So you're enjoying yourself?
Oh, lovely. Food's good.
What have you been doing this morning?
Well, the wife went to church.
Church?
Yeah. Had breakfast. We were going on the beach. Decided to come up here.
What are you going to do this afternoon?
Well, we'll have a drink first before lunch. Come up, go swimming after dinner, very likely.
You're really enjoying yourself?
Oh, yes.
We only arrived yesterday. We're here for a fortnight. But the previous years we always felt that we could relax down here. We've been fortunate with the weather. And we find it's not too commercialised. I think we enjoy it for that reason too.
Well, most of the time I just lie on the beach and soak up the sun. That's all I want to do. The weather down here is so gorgeous that it suits me fine. Just lapping it up.
In fact, I'm coming for 12 years already. Every year there with my mother, for we like very much this island, which is plenty of charm.
Relaxing. And that's why I come to the Isle of Wight, because I find that I can relax here very easily.
Hello, Sandown and Shanklin for holidays. Hello, Sandown and Shanklin for holidays. Wise words from a wise old bird who treats a carnival queen just like any other visitor to the Sandown Zoo. A lion drinking milk? Well, really, they don't care who they let in here. It's that bird again. Or should it be those birds? Well, what does it matter? They're decorative, that's the point. No wonder Sandown and Shanklin can say that they have a number of holiday attractions. These are just a few of them. The boat is dressed overall, but the girls aren't because this is a beauty contest. And it rather looks as though the girl that we've been watching as Miss Sandown has become Miss Shanklin as well, which is entirely appropriate. They're twin resorts that share a great many things. Now they share the same beauty queen. Brian Mickey, the television chief, presented the sash. Pushing the boat out is an old English custom that's best learned at an early age. And when parents push the boat out for the annual family holiday, they have to ask themselves, what is there for the children to do? The answer at Sandown and Shanklin is plenty, afloat and ashore, when you can get them ashore. As a distinguished statesman once declared, England will always be great while she has a strong navy and brave sailors. And they've got to start somewhere. And you've got to start somewhere when you're trying to think what to put on a postcard. How about having a wonderful time, wish you were here? It isn't original, but it saves a lot of trouble. That's when you've chosen the postcard, of course. And the choice isn't easy on an island that presents lovely views practically wherever you look. How about Bembridge Harbour? It's a lovely sight with all that blue sea, and you can just see the dozens of yachts anchored down there. It's very nice, but I'd sooner see the boats closer. Well then, here's some boats at Brading Harbour. The ones with the red sails racing there are called Red Wings. They're not so bad. But aren't there any smugglers? Smugglers? Well, there used to be smugglers here, and pirates. This is Black Gang Chine. Or what about Alum Bay, where the famous coloured sands are? You know, you can put the sand in a bottle. No, I've got a jar full of that. Well, there's Culver Cliff. That's a sight if you like. And that's Sandown Bay on the left. Or the Needles. That's practically the most famous lighthouse in the whole world. Yeah, super. And here's a postcard that's moving. Or is it? No, it's real life again. It's just that the scenery is so beautiful that it looks like a postcard. And a local beauty queen knows that one of the best ways of soaking up all this scenery is to take a trip on an open-top bus. One of the loveliest spots on the island is Shanklin Old Village. Driving or walking through it is like stepping back into another century. Thatched roofs, whitewashed walls, cosy little windows, roses round the doors, and a hint of what Shanklin was like before seaside holidays were ever heard of. And the tranquility is still there for visitors who prefer the past and peace. But at carnival time, at night, there can be a sort of magic about Sandown and Shanklin. So, there's drinking and dancing and dining, and there are theatres and cinemas and shows on the piers. By night, as well as by day, Sandown and Shanklin meet all tastes, from bingo to brandy. The result is that everybody's happy to be there and sorry to go. The end of a holiday is always a little sad, particularly when it's been a really successful one. But there's still a sea trip left before the return to work. And when the Carnival Queen waves goodbye, she isn't too unhappy for the holiday makers. She knows that they'll return to Sandown and Shanklin. They always do.